saw some examples using C, right? In this video, you are going to see the same examples but using the programming languages Python. Okay. So in C, we have set of rules starting with the header file, and once we start the main function, and I repeated the statement as case sensitive. C is case sensitive. Once we start the curly braces, we have to close it, right? But in Python, there is more rules. Okay. So what are the programs we saw in previous video? The same programs we will see in Python. Okay. So I saw this basic simple programmer. Welcome to all. Right? For welcome to all, what are the things we did? We did start with the header file, main function, and then print statement, and we close the main function, right? But in Python, so which thing we want? You need the statement as welcome. Okay? So you have to give it. So welcome, we have to display output. For output, we have to use the term as print. In printers, we have to use the which term? C. But here in Python, you just use the term as print. That's it. Okay. Clear? So I need the output as welcome. You just mention the print and then welcome. Okay. The same thing we have to follow for wonderful programs. The next program what we see, the sum of two numbers, addition of two numbers, right? For sum of two numbers, then again we start with the file and then main function, and we initialize the two variables and we assign the answer for the output, right? But here also we have to initialize the variable. So we start with the initializing the variable. So in that program I mentioned as L and M as variable, but here you can mention as L and M or some other variable also you can assign it. Okay, it's up to your wish. So I can mention as the same L and M. So once I declare the variable, in the same line I just assign the value also. Okay, I just assign the value as 10 and then M as 5. So which operation? Addition operation. I give the term as sum. So sum of two numbers, right? So sum of numbers. So usually L plus M is equal to sum. So just vice versa. So L plus M we are going to add it. That value should be stored in which variable? That is sum. Let's finish the program. So 10 plus 5 is 15. But we need to display the value as 15 in the output screen, right? For display, which term we have to use? Generally, we have to use as print. For C, we have to use printer. But in Python, we have to use term as print. That's fine. So print. So what are the terms we are going to call? That is the main thing. Okay. So what are the terms we are going to call? Let's see over one. So which operation? That is up to your wish. I am going to give the statement as the sum of. So if you want the statement, you have to give the sum of, because within double quotation, all the things will be given, the same thing will be displayed. Okay? So for the first term, that is L and M is and then some value. Clear? So in output screen, what should be the output? The sum of. So L what value we assign, that is 10, and M. So M value is assigned as 5. So 10 plus 5 is some value is 15. That's it. Clear? So I don't need to give this much line. So I need the output as 15. That's fine. I need output value 15 alone is printed in the output screen, means that time what we are going to give? Print sum. Okay. So like this we have given means only 50 will be displayed. Only 50 will be displayed. So you have lot of doubt, means very easy. You have to type the lines. Okay. Just go to the online compiler. You just type over online compiler. Just run it. Just click the run button. So automatically shows the output. Suppose it has some error, it shows the error also. So if it is easy, you can capture. in C program we start with the identify and then main function, and we know the operation is similar. Okay, we have to given the number. We have to given the number. That number is divisible by 2. You will get the remainder. You will get the remainder. It belongs to odd number. Okay, that is the third methodology. Suppose I given the input as 16. 16 divided by 2, you will get the remainder 0. So it belongs to even. It belongs to even number. The same methodology we have to use in Python also. But we start with the variables number. The same number to see, right? So number is input. Okay. So in Python programming there is no scan. That is input represents as scanner, right? In C the input represents for scanner. But here the scanner statement is not there. So instead of represent as input. So you have to given enter the number. So this statement is your wish. Okay. So which statement you want you can take. So here few terms related to the given program. Here we are going to enter the number. That number is whether you are going to find odd or even. So enter the number. Okay. So in that C also you have to use the loop as if loop. Whether this number is odd or even. So here no need to start the braces. Directly given the number is presently divided because we are going to find it is even or odd. Okay. So if it isn't even, you have to present as even number. So these terms you already know it because E is a different bubble. So before we have to use the term as and. So the term is up to your wish. Okay. So if the number is not at all even, then automatically it belongs to not even. Okay. Not even is nothing but odd number. Okay. So you have to give else. Number is not even, then something but odd number. Here, so we saw 3 programs, that is simple program, and then sum of 2 numbers, and then whether the number is odd or even. Next, we move to swapping of the numbers. So what is the methodology? The swapping of numbers. We go to swap. We need minimum 2 input. We need minimum 2 input. Then only we can swap the numbers, right? So we need 2 input. We go to swap these 2 numbers into the third term. Okay. So I just represent x assign some value and y assign some value. So x and y doing swap. We'll see what we do. So two things are common. Identify and main function is common. So we already see the example in using Python. Now we see in C. Okay. We are starting with the header file and main function. So what is the manual operation? We already saw it, right? So that is integer means int, assign two variables a and b, and declare the variable the same portion. We can assign the value for the corresponding variable also. Okay. So a value is 100, b is 500. So what is the meaning of temp? You can, instead of temp, you can bring any term, that is x or y, not from a and b. Okay. So temporarily we have to place the value, right? For each of the element term as 10. Okay. So temporarily a value is stored in 10. So now 100 is stored in 10. Okay. Clear? Now b value. Now a is empty. Clear? A have 100. A value is stored temporarily. Right now a is empty. Okay. Now b value is 500. B is stored 500 to A. Now B is empty. Now B is empty. Okay. Now temporarily what's the value? Now in 10, what's the value? That is 100. Right? That is 100. So now 100 moves to B. Now 100 moves to B. So in print statement is used for display the output. So after swapping, so A is an integer percentage D, B also integer percentage D. After that, call A and B value. Print 0, you guys know the same output you will receive. What's the output? Now the A value is 500 and B value is 100. Okay, we need the same output in different programming language we saw. Okay, in Python, now we will start with the header file, and one more thing, no main function. So which thing you want, you just declare the variable and assign the value and display the output statement. Here in C program, we have to start with the header file and main function, and then declare the data type is compulsory, and you have to declare and then assign the value if you want it. Okay, and which operation you have to perform it, and then go to the, for the display you have to use the printer statement. Before closing the main function, you have to give return 0. Clear? This program is clear, and we will see some mathematical examples. You guys know the basic formulas, right? So what is the formula for area of circle? These are terms that you learned in school days, right? So you guys will take a pi r squared. For that, we have to use the program in both C and Python. Okay. have to declare before that. Okay. So then I just represent the radiuses, or else I will represent the radius fully. You have to mention any of the radius, whether it is pi or such whatever it is. Okay. Then the formula is pi r square using mathematical operations. For which formula? That is area. The area formula only goes to display this print of area symbol. Clear? The same thing we have to use in C programming. We start with the header file. We know already, that is include. What is? Include the basic primary terminal, standard input output dot in the extension of H, right? Next.